Okay, well, it looks good. And just as an early warning, I've got this platform that I've been working on temporarily on 2-foot posts, and I did that to get this off the ground so I could work at a more comfortable level and down on the ground, and to some extent protect my elevator brackets from any kind of damage. So I got a 4x4 up in there, and the problem with that is because it's got an 8-degree angle in both directions, even though this is 6x6, it's already sticking out too damn far. I'm gonna fall over this, so you'll be able to get some footage on that. Okay, so this is what we came up with. We wanted to go octagon because it just looked like a good design for us. Gives us all the way, gives us 360 degrees to shoot out of, and it looked like it was going to work out. And this idea basically started with YouTube. So what we wanted to do is, again, and I don't have scale attachment things and different things, so I don't want to take the tape is not going to be there, obviously. It's just holding it together right now to give you an idea. That's what we do, just briefly give you an idea of what we're looking to do here. So what we're going to do is basically what we wanted to do. I'm not going to take all this off, but I'm going to take this in sections. So I don't have scale elevator brackets, so even though it's 8 degrees this way, it's not this way anyway. So what we're going to do is I built a platform, which we'll show you a little bit more of this later. I built a platform. We did a 6x6 and octagon design because, again, it's going to give us 360 degree shooting. And when I designed this, it actually had a door that we were going to come in from the back. But we decided, because of, you got steps, now you're running out 16-foot stringers, and it's going to rain, ice, and all that. What we decided to do later was come in with a trap door. I'll show you how that's all going to work. So anyway, the idea was I'm going to take my Kubota, I'm going to take my platform, which right now probably weighs 225 pounds. I'm going to take my platform out to my hunting site, and with my Kubota, I'm going to lift it up as high as I can, and I can articulate the bucket and the forks. So I'll be able to tilt it back. On the back side, I'll put my 10-foot 4x4s into the elevator bracket. And then as I'm backing out, I'll be able to lift this side up, put in my 10-foot elevator brackets there. So now I'm 10 foot off the ground without having to pick anything up heavier than a 4x4. Well, of course, now once we get there where we're at, it's not perfectly level because we didn't know where we're going to be. So we're going to have to do a little bit. We'll dig and we'll get it level. That's the idea. So then what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll get our corner panels. Now, corner panels are going to be roughly 17 inches by I think we're probably going to end up leaving it at 96, a full 8-foot sheet. We're going to leave it at 96. And then by the time we do everything else, we calculate we're going to have somewhere around 87.5-inch height of which to stand up and take standing bow shots, which should be okay. We could drop it down. The stuff that we're going to be using for the sidewalls is about 2 pounds a square foot. So if I can eliminate 10 square foot, that's 20 pounds. I know it doesn't sound like much, especially when it's individual panels, so I don't know if I'm gonna worry about that. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the 17-inch panels, the corner panels, and we'll drop it down into this channel, the receiver. And then we'll do the same thing on this one. We'll drop it down. Once we get one of them up, what we're gonna be able to do is take our next panel, which is literally a 4x8 sheet. We're going to come up here. It's going to weigh somewhere around 45, 50 pounds. We're thinking something 3/8 with an exterior grade plywood and stain it. So again, we haven't got that far yet. We're only at the base, but even 7/16 is 46 pounds. So, and you're gonna put some bracing on it, maybe some insulation. So we're somewhere under 60 pounds. I can still carry 60 pounds. And there'll be plenty of places to hold on to it and everything. So what we'll do is we'll now drop this right into this channel, like so. Then we'll have these clasps on the inside that will clasp them together. If it turns out those clasps are all we need, then that's fine, but we're not opposed to running a couple of screws through it. The clasps are nowhere to be found. There they are. So the claspuses, pretty simple. I don't know what the hell it's called, but anyway. So I'm going to have, this will be, and again, not quite scale yet, but I'll have this on one side. This will be on the other side. Latch it and then close it. And this is adjustable, although I noticed that once you get to a certain point, maybe I'm hallucinating, but it seemed like I ran into a problem. You can only close them so much and then it won't ratchet. But all right, the 70s were awesome. So anyway, that's the idea. So we'll probably use 2, 3, 4 of these. They're running about, I don't think they're much more than a couple bucks a piece. So it's not real expensive, but we'll run a few of them together and then we'll be able to clamp these panels together. Something like that. So then what we're going to end up doing finally, trying to keep things simple, we're going to build our roof rafters / trusses. We wanted to put a slight pitch, and we wanted a gable because the way it's going to drain and everything. We don't want anything coming off the front. We don't want everything coming off the back. We kind of wanted to put a gable in, and we were not going to build trusses. But anyway, we thought if we used like a 2x6 or even some 5/4 decking, again, we're looking at a weight. So once we get these panels, we'll take our rafter / trusses and put them in these slots. Now what you're not seeing, or am I, maybe that's it. Is to add some rigidity to this. We're actually going to have a weight-bearing post or beam, much like that. So the trusses aren't actually going to sit on the plywood. They're going to sit on the beams. And maybe I can get that in there. And, poke my finger and draw some blood. That's always good for a like or two. Anyway, so something like that. Yeah, it's not perfect. So, and then we'll put the other one on. Now, there again, we can do a lot of different things. It's one of the reasons we like this modular design. We could bring the roof up now and lift it up. I mean, we're not talking a very heavy roof. We're only looking at probably somewhere around 100 pounds. Yeah, I know, 100 pounds is a lot of weight, but we're going to use probably 7/16, and we're going to put on the top of the 7/16 EPDM rubber roof. We're going to seam it. Anyway, if you got a better idea than that, it's early enough that you can leave us a note. We'd appreciate it. So anyway, what's going to happen is we'll probably throw another support on it. So that's going to sit down here. Now, one of the reasons I did this is because if I put these roof carrying members up on top of the wall, what'll happen is there'll be a gap between the wall and the roof sheathing, which is very common in the building industry. And what they do is they put in blocking in between here. So now I'm going to add another piece of blocking. This is only going to be about 2.5, maybe 3 inches drop down. So if I notch those down, sounds like it might be a little annoying, but I don't think it'd be that terrible to drop that down, have it set on this beam, and now I got a flush top plate for my roof to sit on, and I don't have to block it. Now we're also going to have, this is not going to stay there, but you get the idea, on the outside. All right. And like I said, now we can change this right now. It's scaled out to 2-foot centers, but we can probably change that if we had to. If we had to, we can change it to 16-inch centers or 19-inch centers, whatever it takes. We're not going to be dancing on it. We're not going to do anything. It's not going to be. The whole thing's only going to weigh 100 pounds. It's not very heavy. So we think that 2-foot centers is probably going to be ample for what we want to do. Now we are going to have to block some areas, like on the end here. When we put this on, there's going to be a gap, but that's minor. So then what we'll do is we're going to take our roof, we'll put it on one side, just get it up there, and fall out of the tree stand and kill ourselves. So, and that's the idea of the roof. Put it up here now. We'll have ways to attach it. A couple different ways that we're going to attach the roof so it doesn't blow off or get too much uplift or anything like that. And where we're at, it's pretty guarded by trees, so not too worried about uplift. So anyway, that's the idea. If we do this, we've got 2 full sheets of plywood up here on a 6x6 platform with the angle. It gives us about 12 inches overhang all the way around, which will be fine for when it drips off. Be some really attractive attracting corners up there, and you can't do without that. And so, yeah, that's the idea. Now these represent windows. We're going to probably use commercially bought windows, just because I've seen a lot of window designs. There's some good stuff out there, but you know what, the whole hunt really comes down to if you get that window open and get a shot off. So I'm not gonna cheapen up on that area. I'm gonna buy something that looks good. There's a couple we're researching. I'll get back to you about which ones we decide on. May order a couple here shortly and just as a prototype to see what they look like. But we're gonna have horizontal and vertical windows. The corners will be vertical, and then the sides will be horizontal. And that should give us 360 degrees because our ladder is going to come in from underneath, which is what I'm sitting on. So I'm going to break this again and get this cleaned up and show you a bird's eye view of what we got going on with this platform.